Ladies and gentlemen, the Kids in the Room podcast. Kids in the Room podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Brought to you by Moo Faces TV.
Woo! All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Kids in the Room podcast. Today, we've got my friend Ron Shigata on the podcast today, who is an amazing person. Ron, tell us who you are. Tell us what's special about you. Yeah.
Thanks, Tavares. Well, you know, we got talking online about I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done about 100 venture capital investments, and I also advise startups. And I just my latest work has been to open a studio helping startups get started. And the portfolio just crossed the $1 billion mark last December, and this makes me want to come out and talk about it.
Wow, $1 billion. That's pretty awesome. $1 billion.
Well, it's not all my money. It's just how much all the companies are worth put together.
You're like Daddy Warbucks. You're like, the guy who swims in money, right?
I like what I like to do is I like to make people who have this something really fantastic. I want that to help them be successful, to really feel the potential in their ideas. And so if someone's got a fabulous idea, I want to talk to them and I want to help them make it real.
That's amazing. What does a fabulous idea entail to you? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, I've had this crazy career, and recently, like the last 7 years of my life has just been this incredible like roller coaster. I was a regular PhD scientist before, and I had a good job. It was not something I could tell people about. It might put them to sleep. I would sit at a computer screen all day and process genomes and look at protein sequences and all this stuff. But I wanted to really get my hands in it. And so living in the Bay Area, I ended up being a venture capital investor after some work. And me and a couple other guys, we started this shop downtown called IndieBio. We invested in synthetic biology biotech companies. And we helped create basically the startup biotech economy now. And so I was lucky enough, I got to pioneer on that. For 4 years, made 80 investments, and that portfolio is worth about $5 billion now, all told. So I'm kind of seeing it again now with my own shop, and the ideas that we were able to get a hold of, they were first in class, first in the world. Like the world's first lab-grown meat company we invested in is called now it's called Upside Foods. It was such a new idea, nobody could actually believe it might work. And now there's almost 200 lab-grown meat companies starting up all over the world, doing all kinds of work. And so it's just been crazy to see all these sort of like realities unfolding around these ideas. They're completely new. So yeah, when I'm talking something special, I'm talking about an idea that's just makes you stop in your tracks and think, I have to rethink about the world. I can't see things the same anymore, and those ideas come across once in a while, but they often die on the vine, and so they really deserve to be heard. That's what I do.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. It's very impressive. So I want to ask you and dig in a little bit more. You're talking about, hey, I've invested into these companies that are, pushing out synthetic meat. Like what drove you to invest in companies that are working on this type of synthetic type of meat? Like, are you not a meat eater? Like what was it?
I'm actually a biologist, and I've been a bioscientist for my entire adult life. And but it's always been sitting behind the glass wall in the university for as long as I've been around, and a couple decades, just watching that happen and people making all this fantastic discoveries, and it doesn't change people's lives. And so it's coming to the time where biotechnology now will come and help us with our sustainability problems, with our recyclable renewability problems, with all the things that we use and we buy, we eat and we wear, and drive or whatever else that we do. We need a new way of living, and technology is going to change that to make everything fall back into balance because we can design it that way. It's a huge idea, really. And so exciting.
That's pretty awesome. What's your favorite type of like synthetic type of meat so far, right? That's out right now.
So this is crazy. So actually, you know McKinsey, McKinsey, the accounting research firms like Global Business Leader, whatever, they put out this report. Tavares is a 400-page report. They went over all these different cases, and they discovered hundreds of cases where biotechnology exists today could change and really provide impact to manufacturing, to the way we use things. So some of them are medical. Look, we're used to hearing about this in terms of drugs and surgeries and all kinds of medical treatments. But, genomic sequence is now starting to impact our health and well-being, our beauty, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, and the beverages we drink. They're all sort of being re-examined to how can we sort of make something healthier, but also cheaper, more accessible to more people, So what's going to happen over the next 50, 60 years is these wave after wave of new generations of this tech helping to sort of create sustainability and quality for everything that we use. Right now it's with food, but there's other waves coming right now.
What kind of waves?
So just to like catch everybody up on food was the first thing we invested in that really blew people's mind. The investors came. Back when I started 8 years ago, it was really, really difficult to find a venture capitalist who would fund any given thing. You bring a startup in, we gave them a little money, we bring them into our lab, and they get to work for a while. They put together some prototypes and MVPs, and they'd go out, and people would look at them and just say, sounds really interesting. I'm not going to invest. We would have to go home and pray that they would actually fund these things. And now the situation is really different. People are embracing these new ideas. So the first thing that really hit it off was meat and animal products. So we funded a company called it's called Every now. It used to be called Clara Foods. They made egg whites without chickens. They were able to just sort of create the proteins. Egg whites are mostly protein, a little bit of salt and water. They're able to just produce the proteins outside the chickens, put them together, and you got a perfect egg white. They're a $1 billion company now, approximately. They just closed a huge round, and they're going to start providing basically food that's exactly the same as if it had eggs, but there's no animal producing it. And that really changes sustainability and its cost and its quality. Huge difference, right? So, meat, so meat and eggs and dairy, milk, ice cream, all these things are sort of coming out as first wave.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think it matters about sustainability to scale. Like when you're thinking about these products that we consume daily, mm-hmm. And but also I think too, there's a bigger issue, and it is basically how a human consumes those products, like how it tastes, right? Absolutely. Like if it doesn't taste authentic, then it doesn't really matter to most of us to scale how healthy it is. And so for me, I've always looked for what tastes almost, where there's just like parity to real meat. Right?
That's the most amazing thing about this latest generation of companies is that they've hit upon this killer app, right? The killer idea is that, look, we can get people to eat more sustainable food that's not made from animals. The use of animals in agriculture is responsible for about, some people say 25 to 30% of all the greenhouse gas emissions. And so that's just, meat, we can actually not eat it. But the brilliant idea is to give people food that is exactly the same, where they don't have to make a choice between giving up something that they've always eaten and not. We just have these other products. They don't have the animal impact, but they taste the same. They are the same. When you make meat cells outside the animal and you put them together, they're pretty good steak. I've had them.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what's coming. It's going to come in the next few years. In Emeryville, California, here, there's a 50,000 square foot plant. They're making the first lab grown meat there that's going to be in restaurants, they hope, next year in San Francisco. And from there, it should just keep going and be available all around the world.
Wow, that's pretty rad. Biology is awesome.
Biology is like
it's awesome.
Best.
It's
too bad.
Awesome.
It's too bad people don't get more of it really in school. They don't get the fun part. They only get the
boring.
Memorize this. It just feels like a task. It's too bad, But I think there's going to be more and more fun that people can see, and hopefully that'll help people get into it and get interested.
What got you into it? What got you into biology?
You know, I started in the chemistry department, and I just started realizing that, you know, chemicals are boring. I mean, they'll react and they'll form reactions. They'll make something new, but they'll make waste, and they're a little toxic. But biology, everything you do with biology is it's basically like groceries. You know what I mean?